Hi guys, it's Lara. Thank you so much for watching and welcome back to my channel. So today it's an Easter special. I put together a few recipes for things that I'm gonna serve at our Easter brunch. These are things that I would call definitely comfort food, and also I know for sure that also our non-vegan friends and non-vegan family always enjoyed. So if you want to know how I cook these things, then please keep watching. Let's start with my deviled potatoes variation. I cooked a few potatoes and let them cool off. And then, with the assistance of Hercules, I scooped the middles out. I cut the pieces that I scooped out into even smaller chunks. And then I put them into a mixing dish. I personally prefer using the ready-to-use tofu scramble seasoning mix. Instead of that, you could use onion powder, a bit of garlic powder, paprika, turmeric, and black pepper. By the way, all recipes with the exact amounts are listed down below in the description box. Whenever I use these spices separately, I always add a little bit of mustard and herbal salt. As a next step, I mixed all ingredients with a hand mixer. And then I filled the potatoes with this creamy paste. I like topping the potatoes with a few capers. And I also enjoy sprinkling a bit of black pepper and paprika on the top. If you discover that your potatoes could need a bit more salt, you can also always sprinkle a little bit of the herbal salt on the top as well. And here it is, my first Easter brunch dish is done. This savory roll is a variation of a roll from another video, I will link it down below. Here are the today's ingredients. So I have here vegan salami, smoked tofu, chopped mushrooms, vegan cheddar style cheese and sun-dried tomatoes. And just like the other day, I simply laid out all ingredients on a puff pastry sheet. And then I rolled it together, punched a few holes on the top. And then I preheated the oven to 200 degrees Celsius, which would be 392 degrees Fahrenheit. And I baked the rolls for about 40 minutes. I like slicing the rolls once they are cooled off and serving them as finger food. Now let's have a look at these delicious sandwiches with a potato spread that tastes almost like an egg salad. For the potato spread, I cooked 4 medium-sized potatoes. Once they were cooled off, I peeled them and cut them into quarters. And the seasoning is the same mix, just like I have used for the deviled potatoes. And as I said, I prefer the ready-to-use tofu scramble mix. I added 2 tablespoons of vegan mayo. And I mixed all the ingredients with my hand mixer. And then I added the herbal salt that I've used in all my recipes before, because this is basically my favorite salt. And then I stirred the spread again. Next, I always put a generous amount on one of the sandwich halves. I topped the other half with mustard. And then I added chopped scallions on the half with the potato spread. And then I simply closed the sandwich and cut it into 4 pieces. These sandwiches are not only delicious addition to any brunch, but they are also great as a lunch or a snack to go. I'll be also serving bruschetta. I've shown you this dish in my dinner diary, but let's get over the recipe again. I chopped 4 medium-sized potatoes into small cubes. I added about 3 crushed garlic cloves and black chopped olives. I buy the olives already chopped in pieces because I'm lazy. I season this with Italian herbal mix. There's thyme, marjoram, oregano, basil and rosemary, and I also used herbal salt. Then I stirred all properly up. You could drizzle a bit of olive oil on the bruschetta and serve it as it is. I personally like adding feta tofu, which is a tofu marinated in herbs. Here is what it looks like. I always cut the feta tofu in small pieces and add it to my bruschetta. I serve my bruschetta in small bowls with fresh baguette on the side. And now the fun part. Let's start with these yummy baked donuts. I mix the dry ingredients first. 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of sugar. Here we have half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and half a teaspoon vanilla sugar. Again, all recipes with the exact amounts are listed down below in the description box. I mix the dry ingredients together. Now the wet ingredients. I used half a cup of an oat drink. You can use any non-dairy milk of your choice. And then you will need a replacement for 1 egg. I have used 1 tablespoon of chia seeds and 1/4 cup of coconut oil. I warmed these ingredients up only until the oil melted, and then I turned the heat immediately off. I also added half a teaspoon of vinegar at the end. You can use apple cider vinegar. I have used a regular vinegar and it worked well. And then I mixed all the ingredients together and I combined everything well until I had a nicely smooth dough. If you are as crazy about the taste of cinnamon as I am, you can always add more cinnamon. I filled the dough into my donut forms. They are made of silicone, so they are non-sticky forms, which is very practical. I will link down below where I bought them. When you fill the form, make always sure to smoothen the surface as nicely as possible. That way the donuts will be nicely round from both sides once they're done. I preheated the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that is 356 degrees Fahrenheit, and baked the donuts for only 12 minutes. You don't want them to get crispy. In the meantime, I made my glaze. I squeezed a bit of lemon juice and then I kept adding powdered sugar until I had a smooth glaze. When the donuts were done, I took them out of the oven and let them cool off a bit. And then I coated them with the glaze. Well, and then my donuts were done. You can of course use any glaze of your choice. I personally like the lemony one because it tastes so fresh. One thing that can't be missing for our Easter brunch ever is this juicy and fluffy carrot cake. While Hercules was assisting me as usual, I put 200 grams of all-purpose flour into a bowl. I added 150 grams of sugar and a bag of vanilla sugar. Next, I added baking soda, baking powder and cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of each, and half a teaspoon of salt. For me personally, there can't be ever too much of cinnamon in anything, so I added more. And then I mixed the dry ingredients. I added 150 grams of grated carrots and 200 grams of almond yogurt. You can use any non-dairy yogurt you like. I combined all ingredients. And then I added 1 tablespoon of corn oil and mixed all again. While I preheated the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that is 356 degrees Fahrenheit, I oiled a cake pan and dusted it with a bit of flour. And then I poured the cake batter into the pan and smoothened the top. Next, I put the cake in the oven and baked it first for only 20 minutes. When the time was up, I did the toothpick test and it appeared that the cake needed a bit longer, so I left it in the oven for additional 10 minutes. Once the cake was done, I glazed it with the same lemon glaze that I have used for my donuts. And then my delicious carrot cake was done. I promise you this one will be everyone's favorite, unless they don't like cinnamon, of course. If you're gonna cook any of the things that I have shown you today, please let me know how you like them. And that's it for today. I hope that you found today's video useful. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumb up because that really helps the channel. You can also share the video and you can also subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet. That would be awesome. And as usual, I will list a lot of stuff down below in the description box. All of my Instagram accounts, some videos, some playlists that I think might be interesting for you. Any music that I have used today is also written down below together with a few discount codes and affiliate links. And if I think of something, I'm just gonna put it in the description box. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. I wish you a wonderful Easter and I'm looking forward to seeing you with my next video. Bye!